Welcome back to the JCPod, partner with Stare Down Sports. Stare Down greatness. It is that time again. It is Pickem Wednesday. We got Pickem Week 12, NFL breakdown of Week 12. We got college football Week 13 to go over. That about does it. I mean, that's pretty much what we're going to talk about today. So I think we really shouldn't waste any time. We'll just get into the flow of things. We'll break down Week 12 of the full NFL slate. For college football Week 13, I'll talk about some games I'm interested in, some other games I'll be betting on, and then thirdly, some other games to watch out for. But before we get to all that, let's head over to the Pick'em board and get that done. And as you can see, not the best week from your boy. And then the best part, too, about all this was I fell from, I think I was in third. I think I fell from third to fourth. And not only that, I had 4 games I could have caught Keith on. 4. I'm sorry, I think it was actually 5. I think it ended up being 5 games I could have caught him on. Lost them all. He had every game that he needed to go in his favor that weekend against me, which pretty much sums up the year. And yeah, I don't think we're going to catch him. We're at this point down 49 points. We can't even gain. It was 20 just like 2-3 weeks ago. Now it's at 40. So it seems like he just is never going to have a bad week. So that's frustrating. So it's pretty much a battle for second. And at this point, second is starting to slip out of our grasp a bit as well. So just need to be better. That's the best way to put it. I mean, I'm having a decent year. I'm not mad at the year we're having. It just, I think I missed too many big numbers at the beginning of the year, and it's starting to look like that hole's a little bit too insurmountable to catch. I mean, you never know. All it takes is me having a great week, and so far we just had good weeks. We haven't had any great weeks. I generally don't think I've won a week since like week 2 either, which is a massive problem. I would have considered Houston this game, but the fact that it is Davis Mills, I'm going to probably pick Buffalo. I mean, Houston is coming off a pretty meh game, the best way to put it. Bills, Josh Allen was a superhero in that game and just did whatever he wanted. So it's kind of hard to just fade Josh after the week he had last week, but we got to remember it is a new week. They are the away team. Makes me a bit nervous. Still going to pick Buffalo. I'm just probably not going to put a lot of points on it if I had to guess. But we'll see as we go through some more of these games. Pittsburgh, Chicago. I actually think Pittsburgh might be able to win this game. I think defensively they were able to find some stuff against the Bengals last week, which I don't think is too hard, to be honest. But I will say I am a lot more impressed by the Bears this year. And, I mean, I might just stay picking them. Might make this just a 1. And that's basically like my pick of Pittsburgh. I'm going to do that for right now. But, yeah, I just been Aaron Rodgers may or may not play. That does have me a bit worried about that. But I don't know. I just have a feeling that Pittsburgh might be able to win this game. Chicago, I mean, yet again, another one of those weeks last week where they damn near somehow the Vikings are playing horrible on offense. But somehow they're in the game the whole game. And then they block a punt. Damn near win the game if it's not for that return by the Bears. But, I mean, it's one of those things. When you just find ways to win, you find ways to win. And it's comparable to the Commanders a bit of last year, kind of what's going on with them, where they're just finding ways to win games. So kind of hard to fade them as well. But like I said, I just feel like Pittsburgh might have found something maybe last week. But it's really hard to take them offensively. They've just been weird this year. And yeah, I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to fully play or not. So we'll probably just keep the Bears, put a very low number there. Even though, like I said, kind of feel like they might win that game. New England, Cincinnati. Got to take New England here over Cincinnati. I don't care that they're on the road. They are just the better team for sure, especially with all the injuries that Bengals will be dealing with. And hey, guess what? Jamar Chase suspended for a game, so they lose probably their best player at this time playing. Detroit, Giants. I think this is a really good chance for Detroit to bounce back this week. They just did not have anything going on offensively in the game last week against the Eagles, and I give that credit partially to the Eagles defense, who is pretty damn good. And it was also maybe just the lack of not having Laporta. They have another week to game plan without having Laporta, and like I said, they're back in the dome. They had a really bad game last week, and they usually bounce back pretty well after losses. Green Bay, Minnesota. I can't take Minnesota after what they just put on tape last week. I do think eventually at some point they might be able to figure it out, but I'm not going to put a lot of points on Green Bay because I don't think Josh Jacobs will be playing this week, but Actually, we'll save that for right now. But yeah, I just don't think I can take Minnesota. Seattle, Tennessee. Yeah, coming off a loss too, I think I have to make that my 14. There's just no way they lose that game against Tennessee, right? I mean, Tennessee is an NFL team, and they did play pretty decent last week, but I also think last week was partially because it is a division game. Seattle plays really, really well on the road, and I just think that defense is going to give Tennessee some problems. I might move that 14, honestly. Like, maybe I should just put it on Baltimore, one of the home. Like, I should probably put it on a home team a little bit more confident in, but you know what? We'll just do this since it's stressing me out a little bit. Just put my high number on the home team. We'll keep the 13 on the road team just because of that. Kansas City, Indianapolis. I actually think Indy might be able to win this game. They're coming off the bye. Kansas City. Let's be honest. I will say partially, like all Colts fan bias aside, like genuinely, the Colts play Kansas City pretty well. And majority, if you look back at their games in recent history, they play them pretty well, and they seem to know something. Like I don't know what it is or why they do, but they just play them tough and well. And this is just a different team. I will say, pretty nervous about taking them. Like this is probably going to be that actually might be my 1. We'll move that to a 2 for now. But I genuinely think the Colts can steal that game in Kansas City. But I wouldn't be shocked if Kansas City won. They do have one of the best players in the NFL, if not the best, in Patrick Mahomes. It's really hard to fade him, but. Like said, just what Denver was able to do to them last week, I understand it is a division game, but they were able to get after them. If the Colts are able to do that, they'll be okay. They had another week of Sauce Gardner getting into rhythm. I think Tre'Davious Ward will be coming back as well. So, this is a Colts team that's coming out the bye, getting their defense even healthier. I think they might be able to steal that game on the road. And like I said, this is going to be... I guess I didn't say this, but I'm going to try... This is going to be a game where I'm going to try to steal one against everybody. I know this could be totally dumb and wreck my season if Kansas City ends up winning, and like my family might do, puts 6, 7, 8s on them, but this is a chance I want to take for, hey, maybe I can catch Keith, because like I said, I genuinely think the Colts have a shot to win that game. I mean, we'll see. I will not, but like I said, there's a reason I'm putting a 1. I will not be shocked either way if Kansas City wins. They are playing Mahomes didn't have the best of games last week, so I'm a little bit concerned about that. Their offensive line didn't play the best either, so there's just a little bit of cracks in the armor enough for the Chiefs where it's like, something going on. Colts are 3.5-point dogs too, so we'll see. Like I said, that should be a really fun game. Regardless, that should be a really fun game. And all bias aside, I won't be shocked if Kansas City wins, but I genuinely think the Colts have a legitimate shot in that game. Baltimore Jets. This is a pretty simple one. Tyrod Taylor is starting, I will say, but Baltimore have really put up a real stinker on offense. And finish off the Colts thought real quick. Jonathan Taylor. That's another reason I think the Chiefs might struggle a bit in that game. Regardless, though, like I said, back to the Baltimore Jets. They played really bad on offense last week. I look for them to bounce back this week. Shador, you're getting his first start for Cleveland against Vegas. I just can't pick Vegas with how bad they looked horrible. I'm shocked a lot of people are picking Vegas, honestly. I'm just trusting in the Cleveland defense. That's my whole reason for picking this game. I probably will stay away from it betting-wise just because I think the Raiders kind of stink, but Cleveland on the road is a bit scary, but however, like I said, I'm going to trust in that defense to continue doing what it's been doing. They've been playing pretty well. Man, we get Myles Garrett versus Max Crosby. That's going to be sweet. Jacksonville, Arizona. I think I actually have to go... I think I got to go Jacksonville. I do think Arizona might be able to win that game. I was impressed with what Jacksonville put on tape last week, but of course... It's a week-to-week league, so this week they could be the bad version of themselves. It seems like there's 2 versions of them. One where they actually look like playoff contenders and a legitimate team that could do something, and then there's other weeks where they don't look competent at all. It's like, the Jaguars of old might be the best way to put it. But man, Jacoby Brissett played pretty well last week. 47 for 57. That 49ers defense is kind of stinky, but... However, I think I got to stick with Jacksonville. That's going to be a low number pick for me for sure, though. Philadelphia, Dallas, got to take Philadelphia. That defense is just so damn good. I will say, Dallas played them tough at the beginning of the year in Philadelphia, so it does have me a bit nervous for this game. Don't think I'll put a lot of points on it for that reason, but especially Dallas seems to be rolling offensively, and maybe that Marshawn Kneeland incident was there are situations where stuff like that can be a real rallying cry for a team, and they can really get the stuff rolling. So Maybe that was something it did for the Dallas Cowboys. They also did play the Raiders last week. And the Philadelphia defense is a slight bit better than the Raiders. And the offensive line, just a little bit better than the Raiders. So, yeah. I think I'd take Philadelphia. Oh, maybe I want to make this my 1-point game. I kind of want to take the Saints, but I think I am going to go Atlanta. I mean, Tyler Shuck didn't look too bad, and they went to the bye. You know what? We'll do it. We'll just put a 1 on the Saints. We'll make this. We'll just bump everything basically up 1 point from this point so far. So I guess a 3 on Chicago, 4 on Jacksonville. I don't know what to make of that game. Kirk Cousins will be starting for Atlanta. I think their defense is decent. But I mean, when you get 440 thrown on you, I mean, I don't know if I can say you're decent the next week and not look kind of like a fool. But I don't know. That's a game that, the fact that that's a 4 o'clock game is insane. I'm not going to lie to you. This 4 o'clock slate's kind of ass. I mean, Las Vegas, Cleveland's actually going to turn kind of intriguing just because of the Shador start. But Jacksonville, Arizona with that. Philadelphia, Dallas, that'll be okay, I guess. And then New Orleans, Atlanta. Like, what are we doing, man? Rams, Tampa Bay. I think I have to go with the Rams here. They have just been on fire. It's going to be weird to see Tampa Bay drop another game if they do end up dropping this one on Sunday Night Football. But with how good the Rams have been, it's hard not to take them. I mean, they just looked like a machine last week against Seattle Seahawks. And if that defense is playing like that, they're going to look – I mean, they're just going to keep looking as good as they do. And they're probably going to be a playoff – I mean, they're already going to be a playoff contender if we had to guess. But they, like, legitimately might be a Super Bowl contender. I mean, they obviously are a Super Bowl contender, too, at this point. Let's be honest. But you know what I mean. Like, they might be a team that's like – okay, hey, this team might legitimately be able to win the Super Bowl. And then Monday Night Football, San Francisco, Carolina. That San Francisco defense is ass. So I am a bit nervous about that, but Carolina is such a flippy-floppy team that they're similar to the Jaguars. 1 week they look amazing, the next week they look pretty poopy. So we're gonna take it to be a close game, mainly because of Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy looked awesome last week. And he looks like he is a lot healthier than he was to begin the year. That's for damn sure. Or, well, I guess when he came back in, he was injured. Because he did start the year healthy, then got banged up, tried to come back in after a week or two, looked horrible, and then, he started to look a lot better. Sorry, I was trying to look at this and talk at the same time. Yet again, one of those. Probably not a good idea. We'll put Las Vegas to do that. And now it's time to pick the numbers. 7 on Buffalo. Put a 5 on them. We'll put a 6. Oh, I'm sorry. A 6 on Cleveland. Like I said, we'll keep our 7 on Buffalo. In LA, too, I think I have to put an 8. I'll put an 8 on them. I actually think this is the first week. That's probably the fastest I've ever got numbers done. I won't lie. And I think I like it. Maybe I'll just do this all one because I think that'd be a little bit better. So those are the picks for a week. I'm pretty nervous about that Buffalo one. I won't lie, but Josh Allen looks so damn good that I think I have to. Kind of want to take Pittsburgh, but we're going to ride with Chicago just to... That'll be one of my kind of stay with the pack picks because we are taking the Colts with it. We do have a 2 on the Colts. We are taking New Orleans, which is kind of an underdog apparently. We are taking who else is an underdog? There's 2 more underdogs that we're taking. Cleveland, I guess technically is a dog that we're taking, and then there's somebody else. I don't think Shedeur Sanders is going to play as bad as he did last week. The offense is going to be a little bit more predicated towards him this week, so that should give him a lot more chance to succeed and be a lot better. So with that being said, I think it's time for us to head back to the gridiron and start going over the rest of the breakdown for the week 12. Week 12 slate, man. We are already in week 12. I am truly dumbfounded by the fact that legitimately we only have, this is the last regular week of college football. Because next week is Thanksgiving, so there's games sprinkled all the way throughout, and it's rivalry week. After that, conference championship week. Then it's RV Navy. And then, hey, we have playoffs, bowls. Wow. We're really here. It's really here now. It's kind of sad to think about. I mean, it's awesome because college basketball's starting now, so we're getting closer to March Madness, but Yeah, a little bit sad. I'm not going to lie. The season's already starting to come towards its end. I am not going to lie to you. When it comes to the game tonight, or sorry, Thursday night, I don't think I'm going to take it straight. If anything, maybe lean the under a bit, but overall, I just can't be confident enough to take anything. Yeah, I was trying to maybe if anything, it's Bills minus 5.5, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to do it. Per usual, we'll get this out of the way now, like we always do. StayOnSports.com. Check that out if you want to see what some of my props are going to be, what some of my futures, or not, sorry, what some of my props are going to be, and some other future stuff I'm going to take, because I can only give out so much right now, because per usual, I only handicap through the 1 o'clock games by Wednesday, and then I need to finish with the 4 o'clock games today and Thursday, and then so on and so on. So I only have so much done when it comes to prop-wise, so I'll give out some of the lanes of that part. And this is one of those games, I'll admit, I kind of just skipped over it because I was waiting for the CJ Stroud news. I didn't get back to it yesterday, so I need to finish it up some today. I lean kind of, it's either Josh Allen or James Cook to score. I like one of those two, can't decide who. So I'm off it for now, but if I had to pick a Texans, Nico Collins or Woody Marks, don't know which one either, so I'm staying away from that. Passing touchdown wise, Josh Allen to throw for 1.5 is plus 124. For me, it's probably going to be a decision of, do I want to take Josh Allen to rush for one, or do I want to take his passing touchdowns? That's basically where I'm kind of stuck at. I don't know fully which way I want to lean because the Texas defense is pretty damn good. So it's like, it's just tough. The Texas defense is legitimately good. And I'm just a bit nervous without CJ Stroud playing because Davis Mills has been playing pretty decent, not going to lie. Receiving wise, Nico Collins over 74.5, kind of like that. I did find something I actually forgot about that I did like that I didn't have on my sheet. Dalton Schultz. I like Dalton Schultz receiving over. It is 37.5. He's hit that in 3 straight games, and not shockingly, Davis Mills has been playing for 3 straight games. So I do like that. Keon Coleman is back in this game. I'm curious. I might take Keon Coleman stuff just for the fact that, I'll admit, I wasn't going to take it at all, but the only reason I'm kind of leaning it now is that maybe it's like a motivation factor for him, but I don't know if I want to really bet on Keon Coleman, not going to lie. So I think I like Josh Allen rushing touchdown. I do like Dalton Schultz's receiving over. Reception-wise, I think I'm going to take Nico Collins over 5.5 receptions. He has just been getting force-fed over Dougie Davis Mills. And then I am going to take Woody Marks over 1.5 receptions. That was the final one. I'll admit, not the biggest fan of the odds, but it's because it's minus 148. But he's been really more involved in their offense lately, and he is for sure over Nick Chubb, the better receiver. So that's who I like in that game. And 1.5 feels a little bit low. It feels like he could be good for like 3 or 4 in that game, especially if they get down in the script because of Josh Allen. I am going to take Colts plus 3.5. I just think that they're going to... I just think they can keep it competitive, even if they lose. I like the 3.5 number because they definitely keep it within that hook. If I had to pick who's going to score, I'm for sure would take Jonathan Taylor and Kareem Hunt. Minus 230 for Taylor, minus 115 for Hunt. Past that, anybody, I would want to watch it live personally, just so I could see who's getting involved in the game plan, because these are two teams that love to involve, like the game plan could start with something, but it's like, hey, if this guy's hot and he's playing well, we're going to force feed him in the game, so definitely want to wait for that. Daniel Jones having an interception, yes, it's minus 135. I'll admit, kind of leaning a bit because he's been turning over the ball a lot lately, but maybe the bye week will have it fixed. Passing touchdown-wise, I like for both these quarterbacks over 1.5, but Mahomes is minus 172. Daniel Jones is plus 154. And then, yeah, past that, they don't really have anything receiving out-wise yet, so I still got to wait on that. Patriots minus 7.5 over the Bengals. I do think I might be taking that. I'm at least going to, it's at least a maybe for now, but I just think they're going to win that game huge. And by huge, I mean like 10-plus points because of how good their defense is and how bad the Bengals defense is. They might be able to get a couple stops, and then they can pull away late. It just is going to come down to how does Drake May play in this game, which they at least been playing amazing, and then can the Bengals offense just float and fight enough to keep kicking the back door Not too sure if they will. Jamar Chase being out, I think, is a big thing for them. Bears 2.5-point favorites over the Steelers. I kind of lean Steelers money line, but I'll be damned if I put my money on the Steelers again for a while. So, and I'm not going to bet on the Bears, so I'm just going to stay away from that game and watch as a fan. But that should end up being a fun game. Ravens are 13.5-point favorites over the Jets. Good Lord. Seahawks 13.5-point favorites over the Titans. If anything, maybe if I want to get disgusting, Lions are 10.5-point favorites as well. Throw those three teams in a 13-point teaser or something. Maybe add Patriots and add Colts to make it. I don't know, man. I'm not going to do all that. I don't think I'm going to make a teaser. I'm not going to lie to you. Vikings 6.5. Oh no, I didn't skip that game. Vikings 6.5-point dogs to the Packers. I guess I didn't. I kind of skipped over some props. Seahawks are going to win massive, it feels like, so I might take Charbonnet anytime touchdown. Probably going to look at maybe some Shaheed props. That'd be a good game to get him involved a little bit. Ravens-wise, probably just straight up stay away. Maybe, if anything, take a defensive touchdown. I don't know what to expect from that game other than maybe they get Derrick Henry a little bit involved. Maybe take another Mark Andrews anytime touchdown. Then Lions, going to be a good game. Take Jahmyr Gibbs anytime. Probably take... Lions probably scoring about 30-something points, if I had to guess. Probably about 31. So, it might be a good week, too. I think Amon-Ra is probably going to get back in sync. Might take some of his stuff. Basically, anybody who kind of had a bad game last week, this might be a good game for them to play a little bit better. Packers, my 6.5-point favorite with the Vikings. I'm just staying away from this game as a total. Don't know what's going on with Josh Jacobs and all that. Maybe, if anything, might take some Christian Watson stuff. Seems like he's the receiver so far that's been the consistent guy getting the targets all week. Or not all week, just so far since Tucker Kraft got injured. I couldn't think of his name for a minute. Browns plus 3.5. I do like that. I think that they can genuinely win that game against the Raiders with how good their defense is. Their defense could give the Raiders hell all game long. It's just going to be a matter of what will the offense do. And like I said, I think Shadir's going to play a lot better than he did last game. I chalk it up to him being a backup. They came out and said he got no reps with the ones at all anytime throughout the year. So after you hear that, it's like, oh, that makes sense. He looked like he was a little bit unprepared to play. He looked like he was unprepared to play, didn't know kind of some of the stuff. It's like, oh, hey, he played an offense that wasn't predicated for him, and he got no reps with anybody on the field with him that day. Makes a lot more sense why it looked a little bit off. Because when you're playing at that high level, you need every advantage you can get. So I think it's going to be a little bit better. He had a full week of practice. I'm sure they had a full week of him being the guy. So I think they keep it close, mainly just with the defense of Myles Garrett. But yeah, I'm excited to watch how he plays. Jags 2.5-point favorites over the Cardinals. I think I would take the Jags if I was going to bet on this game, but I think I'm good. I don't know what Jags team is going to show up, so I want no part of that game. Maybe take some Michael Wilson stuff, because I don't think Marvin Harrison's coming back this week, so that's a maybe. Probably going to take Trey McBride to score a touchdown. Falcons, Saints, this is just straight up stay away. I don't know what the hell to expect from that game, so yeah, I'm not going to. It's over under 39. Still, I'm hands off. Kirk Cousins is that quarterback. I don't want to bet on the Saints. I definitely don't want to bet on the goddamn Falcons. I'm over that team, so stay away from me. Eagles 3.5-point favorites over the Cowboys. I think I want to take that minus 3.5 with how good their defense is playing, but that offense has been so ash lately. I guess I can't say ass. They've just been weird is the best way to put it. So I think I'm going to stay away from them because of that, but yeah. I don't know. That might be another game where I don't take too many props either. Just simply from the fact how good Eagles defense is, and I just don't know what to expect from the Eagles offense. And I don't want to take any Cowboys props against that defense. Yeah. And I don't even know what the numbers are because I don't think they're out yet. Bucks, Rams. I do like the Bucks to keep it close, I think. So like 6.5, is that close enough? I don't know. I don't think I want to bet on the Rams minus 6.5. That would be a game that I'm not going to do it, but that would be a game I'd be interested in teasing just to bring it down to the number, just because I don't even want to sweat out the points. I do think they could win by 7 to 10, but this Bucs team is starting to get to that point where, like, hey, they haven't won in a while. I lied. They might have won, like, I don't know. I don't know what it is, like, their last 5. That's kind of what I'm thinking. They're on a 2-game losing streak, but 1, 2, 3. They've lost 3 of their last 4. They're 3-3 in their last 6. So it's like, this is a team where it's like, hey, they're starting to hit that mid-season struggle a bit. They probably want to get things right. The Rams are so good. And Devontae Adams score a touchdown is for sure what we're going to take. Yeah, that's a... He's just using the goal line every single week. I don't know what the odds are going to be on that, but that is one that I'm for sure going to be taking once I figure out what it is. I waited for it live last week. It was I think minus 120 on one of the books after the first drive or two. And then it dropped to plus 100, and then that's when I hammered it. So I might do something very similar again, where just wait for it to drop until some decent odds, because it's probably going to be juiced, and then hop all over it. Final game Monday, Panthers 49ers. 7-point game in total. I kind of lean the Panthers plus 7, just simply for the fact that the 49ers defense gave up 47 of 57 for 400,000 yards to Jacoby Brissett last week, but I don't know what to think of that Panthers team. Some weeks they're world beaters, other weeks they look like the Panthers of old. I don't know what Panthers we're going to get this week, so I think I'm just going to hand off, stay away, enjoy the Monday night game, maybe find another prop or two I like once those come out, and then we learn a little bit more about the injury report. Probably going to take some George Kittle stuff, because Brock Purdy does love himself some George Kittle. So my official bets for NFL Week 12. We got Josh Allen rushing touchdown. We got Dalton Schultz receiving over 37.5 yards. Nico Collin over 5.5 receptions. Woody Marks over 1.5 receptions. That's all for the Thursday night game. Colts plus 3.5. Patriots minus 7.5. Browns plus 3.5. Then I like Devontae Adams anytime touchdown. Trey McBride anytime touchdown. And check out StateOnSports.com. I will have a couple more props I'll be adding on there. Maybe another game or two after I finish some handicapping of the 4 o'clocks, the Monday night and the Sunday night. It's now time to talk about some college stuff. We got Kent State, Central Michigan, Buffalo, Miami of Ohio all tonight. Louisiana, Arkansas State on Thursday. Friday, Hawaii against UNLV. And we got Florida State versus NC State. I kind of lean NC State plus 4.5 after just the horrible showing they put on last week. So that might be a maybe just to get some Friday night action. Like I said, the main reason I would only take them is they looked so bad last week. You got to think they get off the mat, look a little bit better this week. But I don't know if I trust that. Hawaii, UNLV, I lean Hawaii a little bit on the money line. But UNLV just keeps finding ways to win. So I think I might just stay away from that game. Northwestern Minnesota, I'm good on that. Nothing there. Should be a little fun Big Ten battle. Kansas, Iowa State, a battle of 6-4 and 5-5 in the Big 12. I forgot Iowa State had that bad of a slide. I thought the record was a slight bit better. Oklahoma, Missouri should be a really fun game. That's 7.5. I don't think I have anything there. SMU, 2.5-point favorites over Louisville. That should be fun. And a pretty big game, I think, for both those teams, just to stay alive just if something happens in the ACC. Because I'll be honest, that league might get ugly when it comes to the title game. I mean, Georgia Tech winning, you're in, and I think Virginia, I think they're off this week, but I think some stuff can happen and they can back the doorway they're in. I don't know. The ACC title picture is going to get pretty weird. I mean, the only one I think for sure is Georgia State wins and they're in. I think there's another team that's kind of like hey, win the next week or two and you're in. I just can't fully... Well, I can't remember who that totally is. James Madison minus 13.5 over Washington State. I am tempted to take just for the fact that James Madison needs to keep winning. And they probably aren't going to make the college football playoffs regardless. But... they don't know that, and I mean, hey, we don't know that for sure. It just sounds like all things sound like the American is going to be the 12 seed, but like the American League, not an American. No, but James Madison sounds like they might not make the college football playoffs. 13.5 though, might end up jumping on that. We will see. Notre Dame 35.5-point favorites over Syracuse. They probably will cover that. That's what's funny too. I'm good. At this point, I think I got them to have 10+ wins this season. I forget what the odds I got that at were at the beginning of the season. So at this point, I'm just going to kick my feet up. Hope they can win these 2 games. They're going to be favored by 200 in. Texas, 8.5-point favorites over Arkansas. That could be a sneaky good game if Texas doesn't show up. Duke and North Carolina. I kind of lean North Carolina, but I'm going to stay away from that one. Oregon, USC is going to be one of the biggest games of the day. This is pretty much for a college football playoff spot. You lose, and you're probably out. USC, you for sure are out. Oregon... you might be okay because one of your losses to Indiana, but you don't want to play with that game. Vanderbilt, 9.5-point favorites over Kentucky. I don't think I have anything in any of those games I've named yet, by the way, but these are all just some fun game. This is a massive game for Vanderbilt. They have to win this game. Tulane, 7.5-point favorites over Temple. I think I might take that. That's another maybe. So far, we got 3 maybes. I don't know. I just feel like some of these lines are pretty good or good enough to where it's just like, man, I don't think there's too much of an advantage for me to want to jump on it. Houston, 1.5-point favorites over TCU. I would lean them, but that line smells fishy, so I am staying the hell away. I lean Houston, but yeah, like I said, that just feels like a really fishy line. Kansas State, Utah, 17.5-point favorites. I do think Utah might win that by 17.5. So that would be a team that... Don't be shocked if you see that in the Nasty Boy. There's a good chance that might make a Nasty Boy appearance from me. I don't think I'm going to bet it solo, but it might end up in the Nasty Boy. Maryland, they are 13.5-point dogs to Michigan. They might be able to keep this close, but I'm sick of that team, man. 4 wins since September 20th, and now we're going to hit our season win total over for us. I think they might have a chance to win that game, but like I said, I'm not 100% sure, so I'm just going to stay away from it. Nebraska is 9.5-point dogs to Penn State. I think I am going to pull the trigger on this. I think Nebraska might be able to steal that game. UCLA might have poured their hearts out all last week, but sorry, I'm dumb. I was thinking IU was last week. They played Michigan State, and they've seemed pretty much fine, so that point does not stand. But regardless, I do think Nebraska can keep this close. We really need this for our win total. Nebraska plays, I took it personally, they play Penn State and then Iowa. But I just think Nebraska can keep this within 10. I feel like it's going to be a 10-point game. They are been a pretty feisty team. They're coming off a bye, too, so they had a full extra week to get ready and prepared for this game. So I like Nebraska to keep this within 10. We're going to take Georgia Tech minus 2.5. It's like I said, if they win this game, they are in the college. I won't say that just yet, but they're at least in the ACC title game. If they win that, they're for sure in the college football playoffs. They got a big game against Georgia next week upcoming, but I like Georgia Tech to win this game. They've been playing with. They're another team that's been playing with fire. They're like similar to Chicago Bears. They have been playing with fire for a couple weeks now. So if they can just focus up, lock the hell in, and win this one last game, they will make it to the ACC title game. Where you win that, you get a chance to dance. Illinois minus 7.5-point favorites over Wisconsin. I do think they're going to win that game. I'm going to stay away from it, though. Personally, I'm just a bit nervous. Tennessee 4.5-point favorites over Florida should be a fun game there. I'm going to take North Texas minus 18.5 over Rice. I think that this is a good chance for North Texas to get a style points game, and they kind of need style points. I guess they don't really need style points per se because they might make the American title game, and then they would have a chance to get in as a 12 seed. But any win to look good just to get like the committee to look at you a little bit more would be helpful. But like I said, I think they're a really good team. They're one of those teams that should be able to win this game by like 24 to 27 points if they come in and take it seriously. It's just a matter of do they show up and take it seriously, or has too much smoke been blown up their ass for the college football playoffs. Cal Stanford, that should be a sneaky fun game. I'm going to stay away, kind of like Cal, but not enough to take them. BYU minus 2.5 against Cincinnati. That feels like a really weird line. I'm going to stay away from that one as well, but kind of like BYU, but like I said, that feels like a little bit of a stinky line. And then some other games to keep eyes on or tabs on. Actually, I kind of like Utah State late, but I don't think we're going to take that either. And yeah, I think that actually does it. I forgot a lot of the SEC teams were playing some of these smaller schools like Eastern Illinois, Mercer, Samford. So, yeah, I think that does it for like games to keep an eye out for, watch for. I think other than that, a lot of these other games are. I mean, Eastern Carolina 2.5-point favorites over UTSA. I do think I'm going to take ECU minus 2.5. That was one I forgot to add to the slip. I do apologize about that. So, yeah, that does it, I think, for the week. So, my official college football bets for week 13. We got 4 maybes. NC State plus 4.5. James Madison minus 13.5. Tulane minus 7.5. Utah minus 17.5. We got 4 official bets. 4 of them. Nebraska plus 9.5. Georgia Tech minus 2.5. Eastern Carolina minus 2.5. And North Texas minus 18.5 points. Really nervous about the Nebraska one. Won't lie to you. Pretty nervous about it. But they got a shot. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for the support. I really do appreciate it. I'll be back in this feed on Tuesday to react to all of this. And hey, it's Thanksgiving next week, which is crazy to think about that it's already that time of year. Like I said, we only got 2 weeks left of college football. Let's enjoy it. This is the last official full Saturday slate of games before we turn into, hey, some teams are playing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Some teams playing Friday, and then it's going to be bowl season. And then for the NFL, man. Not the best 4 o'clock slate. We got some awesome games at 1 o'clock. That Colts-Chiefs game, that should be a fun one. Bucks-Rams in the night. Chef's kiss. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see everyone back in this feed on Tuesday. And, man, let's enjoy the weekend.